what time or what is the temperature that water freezes in Fahrenheit?
32.
30. Okay, so it's probably like 29 degrees then or something today.
Okay. Yeah, because you guys are 0 when it freezes, right?
Yeah. Water freezes at 0 at
Which,
sea
which
level. At sea level.
kind of makes sense. Wait, at sea level? Oh God,
Well, yeah,
you
because
have you have more variables than that. That's scary. I don't have
well,
to deal
no,
about that.
it also changes in Fahrenheit. It just goes based off like pressure. So the higher you go up, the lower it takes for water to boil. Like water boils at 100 degrees Celsius at sea level, but if you go like to the top of Mount Everest, it boils at like 75 degrees Celsius, which would be like
Really?
yeah, like 150 Fahrenheit. Because there's yeah, it's such a weird thing, bro. I don't. Anyway,
That's
I'm not a
something.
science guy.
That's weird because I'm really into physics and I did not know that. So
Yeah, it's just
that's
all that fun stuff. But yeah, today we got our boy Cliff, or do you want to be Mongol? What would you like to be called here?
for the purposes of this. I mean, mongrel's fine. I always like Cliff just because it's not fucking Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Dude, that show went hard, bro. Come on. That show went hard.
Yeah, but it was a family name and I'd never seen it. So
Oh,
when
yeah,
people
yeah.
started calling me that in like elementary school, I thought it was the dumbest thing ever. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Good comfort, big. Okay, yeah. So if I'm looking, okay, so you're on my screen here and my camera's here. So if you see me looking back and forth, that's what's going on. So yeah, okay, we got our boy Mongol here today. His band Doomsday Manifesto, their new album Necro Crisis coming out today. You can go check it out. I think the link is in the description. If not, use your
Woo!
brain, Google it. Come on, it's
I'm
all good.
celebrating.
Celebrating. What do you got there?
Got me a Yingling Black and Tan.
Oh, Yingling, all that good Pennsylvania beer.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
When dude, when I went to Pittsburgh like a year ago or 2 years ago, whenever I was there, I was like, why are they selling Chinese beer everywhere? I didn't realize it was just like the name. I thought it was like Yingling, like Tsingtao. I thought it was like some sort of beer like that. I was just like, what the hell is this? But
I
yeah, okay.
mean, yeah,
Go.
I'm an East Coaster, so it's like it's been everywhere I've ever lived, and I used to jokingly call it Ring Ring.
Ring ring. Nice. It's big ring ring. Yo, Gizzard, what's up? Shinorama, what's up? Actually, too. Yo, what's up? Guten Tag, Oida. Happy Halloween. Yeah, happy Halloween, boys. So, yeah, Necro Crisis, new album from Doomsday Manifesto. So, I guess my first question is, bro, the one that I've been wanting to know. How'd you record the guitars? What amps were you using here? Sounds great. I love that. I love the guitar tone. Like what yeah, like tell me about it. How
All
did you
right,
record all this stuff?
so as far as what we did on guitars, everything was done to DIs. Unfortunately, it's not like the exciting thing that most guitar nerds would want to hear. Like we did it to DIs. I do everything, all my recording through a Helix.
Okay, yeah.
With some, I have some IRs that are based off of cabs that we actually have that we practice on.
Nice. Yeah, that's the
Um,
best way to do it. You just like get the same IR with the
and
cab you have. Yeah.
yeah, and so basically, so that we don't, because one of the problems of recording at home and being able to do your own tones and all that sort of stuff is you tone search and you can get lost in all these like stupid like things that don't really matter, and it really takes away from the creative process. By the time you found a tone you like, you're like, I don't even remember what I was writing. So
So
we
true.
completely bypassed that whole thing by like I bought um amps that we all that Dan and I like, um and that we based our tones around. So
Yeah.
he's running, we got like the lunchbox style of each like amp that we are into. So we've got like the down the middle like dubs uh are like a PV Invective, which is based off of the 606. It just has like a boost and a built-in noise gate in it and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that. And then I run, we got that going through Eminence speakers in like a custom cab. I've got a an angle fireball running through a an orange 2x12 with vintage 30s in it.
Oh, nice. You gotta have the
And
vintage
then
30s.
absolutely. And then Dan runs a dual rectifier running into a custom cab that we built out of some old speakers that he had, because he really loves these B52 speakers.
B52.
And he's
Okay.
got a yeah, he's got a bunch of these B52 cabs, and he's like, that's my sound. Like my sound comes from these B52 cabs. So I'm like, all right, cool. And he took apart one of his 412s that he had in storage, and we put two of the speakers from it into like just a custom box that you can buy from like I think it's Seismic Audio or something like that. Just sells empty cab boxes.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so we wired it and put the speakers from his one of his four 4x12s in there. And then what we did is, when after that, because the rectifier, the dual rectifier, the angle fireball, and the invective all have like models in the helix. I got IRs to match the cabs that we have.
Yeah, yeah.
So like one with eminent speakers, one with or with an orange 2x12 with V30s, and I found the only B52 IR pack that seems to be on the internet.
Like, have you even found one, man?
And yeah. And freaking we like blend those when we record, or like when we record, but we record DIs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then our mixing and mastering engineer uses that as the tone that he bases what he does on his end. And he just runs the DIs into like a Neuro DSP plugin or whatever, and then uses whatever amps or whatever that he has to do to get like his own version of what our individual tones are.
So do you send him your like so you send him, obviously send him the DI, the guitar. Do you also send him like your amped, like reamped, quote unquote, signal with all your amplifiers and IRs as well? So you get
Yeah,
the sort of like the, even when he
absolutely.
adds a DI? Okay, yeah, cool.
So he has that reference tone, and then he runs the DI through his own software, and then matches a version of that that fits the way he likes to mix and master. So
Nice. Yeah, that, to me that seems to be, if you're recording at home and you don't really have a soundproof place to have like your guitar and amp cab, mic'd up and cranked. Definitely seems the best way to do it. That's actually like the exact same way that I'm recording guitars as well. You got the DI, go online, find an IR of whatever cabinet you have, and then you use that. So it's like as close, I guess, as you can possibly get to having quote
we
unquote like your own gear, but digital. You know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah, we when we did the EP, so the first 6 songs, we actually sent him, because Dan has a isolation box,
Oh,
an
okay.
ISO
Oh,
cab.
nice. Oh, so you can just mic it up
Um,
like that.
so we actually went through the effort of taking our speakers out of our 2x12s and trying to run the DI through the amps, and ran a DI box and everything like that to capture that with two separate angles on a Shure SM7, or no, S
57 probably. SM
S
57.
yeah, SM57, and like one straight on, one at a 45, and we went through all that effort, and then he ended up being like, no, I'm just going to use the DIs. So we were just like, oh, which they were too like, there wasn't enough low end. I know what was going on. Like we were losing low end because the ISO box that we had, like you couldn't back the microphone up
Yeah,
far
so you're
enough
getting
away
that little
from this
cone sound
the
low.
speaker.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just so high pitched that like there was no low end, unfortunately. So we tried to do our actual speakers and everything, but he was like, nah, I'm gonna use the DI. You let me use these reference tones or whatever that you have in here, and I'll find something close to that to keep to your sound. And here we go, and it worked. So we just when it came time to do the rest of the songs for the full length and everything, we were just like, hey, that's a couple extra steps we don't have to take. Let's just go with it.
Well, yeah, I mean that makes total sense to me, man. Wow. Not it makes sense that it's just easier to do the DI and you go through all that effort, isolation box, and it doesn't work. Like what a pain. And yeah, you kind of want to do it like, I made a couple videos recently complaining about this, but it's just so easy. So much easier just to plug your shit in. Here's the DI, and you can like infinitely change it too. But like you said, man, then it can lead you to like tone paralysis where you're just sitting there
Yeah,
twiddling
so we
knobs
avoid
forever.
that by literally uh we have tones in my Helix ready to go that are based off of the actual gear we use.
Oh,
Like it's
nice. Yeah,
got
yeah.
the I've got a dark glass alpha omega um in our rehearsal studio running through I think it's a PV uh 10 2 by 10, but it's like the same speakers that are in a what's the name? It starts with an A. I can't remember it right now off the top of my head. The big bass amp company.
Ampeg?
Amp, yeah, okay, yeah, Ampeg. So it's like the same um speakers that would be in like one of their 2 by 12s essentially. And then we've got another uh cab that we run that's a 1 by 15 for just all the sub bass.
Interesting. Yeah, so you
And
just
we
use that basically to monitor while you're recording, basically?
Oh no, we split the signal and run it
Okay.
to both while we're rehearsing and stuff, so that we can get the same kind of crispy higher end on the bass and the separated low end.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I see. Nice.
Basically, doing like the split EQ thing that people do when they record, but we're literally doing that live in our rehearsal studio as well.
Nice. And that's just you just do that for the bass or for the guitars too, or just the bass is running
Uh,
for your thing or what?
no, that's for the bass. It's just a good recording technique um for bass tracks or whatever, where they split the DI out to two separate tracks, and you EQ the high end with a little
Yeah,
bit of
low
grit
end.
on
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah, yeah.
for punchiness, and then the low end you just leave all sub bass. So we even got it set up to where we're doing that live in the rehearsal studio, so that we have that separated out. And yeah, we're trying to make it to where our live tone is going to be basically as close to what's on record as we can.
Nice, man. Love to hear that. Love to hear that. So then tell me, you went through, and I remember I was editing the video yesterday, and I remember watching that you'd sent one of your songs, probably almost, must have been over a year ago. I think it was Dead Eyed Lover was the one you sent. Now, did you re-record everything for that, or did it just get remixed? Like, how long you been sitting on some of these songs for, bro? Like, at least a year for one of them. One of them said it was like an old metalcore song. Like how long have
uh
these songs been sitting on your hard drive, man?
yeah, Dan came at it with came to this when him and I first got together. Dan came in with three songs, four technically, but one he wasn't sure if he could use yet or not. That he had written while he was with previous bands that just like the other bands for whatever reason didn't want to use them or whatever. So he's had stuff that probably he's got stuff that probably dates back, 15, 20 years that he's been like over the years wrote a few of these songs or
Yeah,
whatever. in his own style. And then I had stuff that was from like my old metalcore band was Happy Never After Part One was originally like a metalcore song, and I just gutted the bridge, the whole bridge section, and rewrote that, and um, freaking basically just added gallops to everything that was just a regular held chord or whatever. So yeah, just melodic death the hell out of it.
Love it. More gallops the better, in my opinion, bro. More gallops the better. All right, so yeah, then Happy Never
Um,
After 1 and 2. So there's sort of like a common theme. And I think the chorus melody for that song, those songs, appears not only in the intro, but I think it appears later on in the album as well, if I remember when I listened back to it about a month ago. What gave you that idea to kind of continue on this Happy Never After motif later on as well? Because, it's a cool chorus for sure. I really like it. Yeah, so what gave you that idea?
Sorry, my phone just went dark for some reason.
Oh yeah, no
Just
worries, no
there
worries.
we go.
And by the way, anybody in chat, feel free to just ask questions, and we'll ask our boy. So just ask whenever. Don't worry. Don't have to wait if you guys
I
are doing.
I've always been kind of a little bit of a prog metal guy, and oddly enough, not inspired by a lot of the same bands that most prog metal people are into. I'm actually like, I grew up really into like the prog rock stuff, like freaking Pink Floyd,
Oh yeah.
and like more of like the psychedelic proggy. Just like I love a concept record, or like a continuation of multiple songs. I think the first like time I was ever introduced to that was like I was like 4 or 5 years old when I realized that Another Brick Against the Wall had like 3 or 4 parts to it or whatever in just that song alone. And I was like, oh, that's
This is
cool.
cool. Yeah.
So like I just always wanted to do that. So that was a song that even when I was with like metalcore style band, we were trying to go a little heavier and a little more proggy than
Oh yeah.
the metal core that was going on at the time. And it was always my thing. I'm like, okay, I really like just how this song started out. Like that melody stayed in my head all these years. I didn't have to write anything down. It was there. So like I'm like, I know it's a good melody because it stays stuck in my head like all these years. And I always wanted to write a part two to it. So when Dan and I got together, I took the couple riffs that I had written to make a part
Yeah.
two and just sat down and did it. Like I was like, okay, there's going to be a part two. I'm going to make it a part two. There we go. And then always had in the back of my head, because when I originally wrote that song, it had this big long intro on dual guitars that was like dun 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 dun, and I was like, I want to take that and make that like a part three that's just its own little instrumental thing.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Uh, with the intention of using it live as like an intro song, like before the band comes out and stuff. So that's just always been a thing in my mind. Like if I was gonna get back into music and start a band again, I wanted to do that. So when I brought that to Dan, he was like, "Yeah, sounds great. Let's go."
Love it. Love it. Love a supportive band member.
Oh
All right, bro. Okay, so then
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, name what. Okay, so you're big prog rock, prog metal guy. What would be your top three prog rock, prog metal bands or albums? What would be your top three?
Oh,
Putting you
okay.
on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, I have to go with um Dark Side of the Moon
A classic for a
first
reason.
off, because it was the first vinyl I ever bought. It's just one of the things that got me into like rock and metal and stuff, like even at an early age, back when I was only listening to like Red Hot Chili Peppers and Black Sabbath
Yeah.
and Pink Floyd. Like that was like the three first bands I ever listened to. Um and let's see. So that, and then let's see, probably, and you could probably hear this in a couple of our song, or one or two of our songs, but like Lateralis from Tool
Oh yeah,
was like,
yeah,
and the next stage of like, oh, these guys are doing something different. Um, let's see. I've always liked Rush, but I don't know that I ever like, as much as I know that they do write like albums, or did write albums that followed a theme. I was never super deep into Rush. Um, I think a lot of their stuff kind of distracted my brain more than it, like I couldn't stay on track.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I can see
but
that.
like I would say probably my next step was from Tool, was Meshuggah, and then around the same time I heard Meshuggah, I also got into Periphery. So that's kind of probably the four major like prog bands that I was like, oh, okay, this is crazy. And they're all kind of from a they
Yeah,
all
that's true.
take up a different space in my head. So
Yeah, that's a really good point. Really good point. All right, okay, then how about on to the death metal side then? For anybody who's watching who maybe hasn't heard your band before, what would be the three bands you would compare your music to, I guess the closest? If you like this band, you'll like our music, I guess. Give us three bands you
uh
guys are very similar to.
okay. I've actually given this a lot of thought because it's driven me nuts that like things like Spotify and stuff like that would be like
Oh,
three
it has to be like,
bands
oh, you're
to
like, fuck, I don't know.
yeah, yeah. So I ended up answering probably very wrong and then thinking about it much later. But definitely Skinless is a huge one. And the way I really kind of narrow it down is the ones that not only do we take some of our sound and writing from and whatnot, but also everybody in the band listens to. So as much as I would like to go Skinless and then immediately jump into Children of Bodom, not everybody in the band listens to Children of Bodom. That's more of just a me thing.
What?
Uh, well, me and our bassist, our newer bassist Ali is actually also into like Children of Bodom, and the so I'd say
Okay, we got Skinless for one.
Skinless. I would say um uh in retrospect, Death. I did not realize that Chuck Schuldiner actually influenced like every one of my influences.
Yeah, yeah,
So
it's very
I
very strong.
actually, yeah, because it turns out even like Alexi, the guys in all that, or not all that remain, well, probably them too, but um at the gates, like they were all influenced by Death. So I would have to say probably Skinless mixed with Death. Ooh, and then the third one that we probably all kind of take something from is probably like Cattle Decap.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I can hear that for sure.
Just in like the fact that they, especially their later stuff, because their earlier stuff was all more grindcore oriented. But like I would say from what is it, something Monolith. I can never remember the name of that album. Something Monolith. Their uh, I always remember one word out of their titles. There's the Monolith one with the ape man on the cover.
Oh,
Um,
Parasite.
Terrasite's the most recent one. That one's got like a dude who's like a um, half bug man
Oh my god,
coming out
I
of
know, I
a.
know exactly the cover. I could picture like the ape on the cover.
There's similar covers though. I actually like when I first saw Terrasite, I was like, is this a sequel to Monolith? But like basically since then on, so they're like their last four albums essentially, like we all like very much are into like the way that their parts, because their parts are almost different genres from each other or subgenres from each other, but they all flow nicely together. So like that's kind of like part of our mission statement right there.
True, yeah, very, very, very astute observation there. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So so it would basically be like sense of songwriting would be cattle decap, brutality of skinless, and the sense of melody of death. Kind of put those into a pot and stir it up, and you get a.
Oh, dude, honestly, that makes sense. That makes sense from what I've heard for sure. Absolutely. You know, it's funny. I read a quote the other day. It was from Richard Christie, the drummer in the last Death album, and he said that Chuck Schuldiner had somehow gotten his hands on the first Jonah Bodom album, and he like loved it. So it's just kind of funny how
That's
band influences one band,
that's
then he gets the album influence. You know, it kind of goes back and back and forth there. Very, very cool.
uh if Lexi ever heard that before he passed, I guarantee he was freaking ecstatic because apparently he was a huge Death fan.
Yeah, you can just hear it in some of the riffs too. The first Bodom album, man, it's just such an interesting album to me. Or I heard too that he had no lyrics written and he just sort of went into like the vocal booth at the studio, just sort of made shit up, and then like, oh, what did I say there? And like scribbled it in after. And you can kind of hear it, like, but you're not listening to Children Bodom like for the vocals, really. Like, let's be honest, you know what I mean? It's all about the riffs.
I mean, yeah, I mean, and I'm not entirely surprised with him, just considering how much that man was punishing his liver.
Oh yeah. No more death and Megadeth content, buddy. There'll be more of that coming. Also, bro, you
You're on the
heard?
wrong channel.
Yeah, exactly. Also, bro, did you hear like that? I posted in the Discord, but they're Megadeth covering "Ride the Lightning." What are your thoughts on that? What do you think of that?
Oh, dude, I mean, I kind of wish he would have got that out of his system a long time ago. Like he should have done it freaking a decade or two ago.
I don't know. I just
Maybe it's like from a songwriter standpoint, maybe that's finally what he needs to get past this whole like Megadeth versus Metallica thing. I don't know. Like
that
it could like
yeah.
I'd be more interested in asking his therapist what she thinks.
Honestly, bro, that was kind of what I'm thinking too. Maybe I'm like, maybe you just should have done this a while ago. I don't know. It seems to me it'd be really weird if that was the last song on the last Megadeth record was a Metallica song. Or maybe
Is it
that's sort of
supposed
like yeah, it's like if you look on the track listing, it's like the last track, bonus track, Ride the Lightning.
well, is it
Maybe
supposed to
this
be
will
the
be it.
last is it supposed to be the last Megadeth album?
Yeah, supposedly he says this is the last Megadeth album too. So I don't know. It
I
seems kind
mean,
of weird, but in a way, like kind of full circle. I don't
yeah,
know.
it's almost poetic from a certain point of view, and then it's kind of also petty from another. So it's
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I guess
I
it
get the
really just
pettiness. Yeah, yeah.
it really just more or less I feel like depends on his perspective on it. Like, why are you doing it?
It also depends how
Oh,
good of a cover it is. If it's a shitty cover, then it's like, well, what's the fucking point? Although, you know, the Ride the Lightning solo section is probably one of the best ever. Probably one of the coolest solos too. Like the way it starts with like the tat. It's so fucking sick. So hopefully, you know,
yeah.
they got the Winter Sun Timu guy playing guitars. Hopefully, they make that really cool. But okay, enough about
Oh, sweet.
Megadeth. Fuck that band. Let's
I
get back to the
was gonna
topic at
say
hand here.
I was gonna say if he could bring back Marty Friedman, I don't care what the hell he does. It could he could have Pips farting on a snare drum for all I give a shit.
He would have to cover like X Japan or Loudness or some sort of Japanese metal band to bring Marty back. I think maybe something like that.
Yeah,
But okay, let's talk about it. Okay, the song "Insidious," really really
yes,
catchy ass chorus. Where did you guys come up with that? Who wrote that song? Where the lyrics come from?
Um, okay, so that song was literally just me uh, trying to learn how to use Reaper. I took a bunch of drum samples that I had gotten from GGD, Get Good Drums and whatnot,
Yeah.
and Dan had kind of showed me more or less how to record myself and stuff like that because he was already way ahead of me on that regard. And I just, I cut together some drum patterns and wrote a bass line to the drum patterns and then started writing guitar to it. And it was, I'd never even thought that it was going to be like a song like from our band. Like I was just practicing. And then I just, put together like this simple riff, a couple of simple riffs. I think probably partially inspired by the fact that I had also been introduced. He had also introduced me to both Skinless and Ingested, and I started going down through the Ingested catalog, and they are just heavy as all hell.
So how
Um,
long you been playing with Dan then? For a while?
him and I started talking in October of 2022.
Okay, so like three years then, right?
Yeah, and then I want to say after the holidays, in like January, February of 23, that's when we actually started getting together in person and sharing our music and stuff like that. So, um,
Very nice, very nice.
but yeah. So that's we had shared those 6 songs, the 3 from me and 3 from him, and we had those in a Reaper file, and I had learned how to record them together, and I'd never written anything in Reaper before. So this was Insidious was my first attempt at trying to write something in Reaper, just sitting down with the DAW, and yeah, I thought it was just kind of a throwaway thing, and then I showed it to him, and he's like, "That's a banger, finish it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So then
Nice.
I had the idea that I wanted to like have multiple like riff changes during like the guitar during like a guitar solo section and whatnot, and then like kind of weave the rhythms of what the song was doing in with the leads of the solo to kind of
Yeah.
blend them together and stuff to keep things together. I just, I really was like, okay, cool. Like I'm getting the hang of this. Like it was really just me learning how to do my craft in a different medium. So
Very nice. So yeah, Reaper is the DAW you guys use then?
yeah.
Yeah.
I actually pay for it. So
Let's fucking go! Paid for the DAWs Giga Chads Unite. Where are we able, right?
whoever owns Reaper, you're welcome for your $37 or whatever it was.
You and the 4 other people who bought it.
Right.
Nice, man. Nice.
I have to balance it out. I think Dan actually has a ripped copy of it. So like not only is it free is it a free DAW, like not free, but free DAW,
Yeah.
but he has like a like a pirated version of a free DAW. I'm like, "What?
Oh
That's
my.
redundant."
Pirated version of a free DAW. It just sounds like you're just asking for malware, bro.
Yeah, so I had to balance things out. I felt guilty for him.
Not, yeah, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. All right. Well, okay. So, what is your favorite moment on the album then? Not song. What is your favorite moment or section, maybe I should say?
Um, that's really difficult. Um, honestly, if I'm sitting down to listen to the whole thing, which I do because not because I'm a huge narcissist or anything, but that depends on who you ask. But it because we write this music specifically because we want to listen to it and we want this kind of music to exist. So I have several times just sat down once all the recording and all the promo crap and stuff has been finished. I finally had a chance to sit down and just actually enjoy it myself. Um, if I was gonna pick anything, I would say probably during the title track when just like all of the elements start to come together. Because prior to that point, like there's a couple songs that are thematic of each other. And you got these like this instrumental track at the very beginning that doesn't really have anything in common with everything that came after it right away. And then another instrumental track that kind of harkens back to the beginning, the first two full songs in the album. But once you get into the Necro Crisis, that chorus brings back the melody that was in the intro track, and the orchestral bits that have been heard throughout those instrumental tracks, and it starts to blend like the melodic death metal with the more brutal side of things. Just it's like the pinch point in a zipper kind of for me.
Nice.
The part that's bringing together two opposite things is like right there, and then that's where everything else after that makes more sense. So I think that's probably, listening back, is probably my favorite part, because it's like it really kind of draws everything else together.
Yeah. Daniel, this is Mongol from Doomsday Manifesto. Okay, first of all, I just want to say you're not a narcissist for listening to your own music over and over and over again. I think anybody who's ever written music knows how enjoyable it is to listen to your own song. Like, yeah, this is so fucking good, yeah. And then maybe like a week later, you're like, what was I thinking? This is so shit. It's like a process of like eternal review. So yeah, I just want to say you're not a narcissist, bro. Not
that is the definition of our vocalist right there, by the way.
If going back later and be like, what was I doing, or what?
Yeah, like we will be releasing singles and he will be like, oh, I should re-record that. I'm like, stop it. Like, you sound awesome. That's why it made the record. Calm down. We're not re-recording it. It's already out to the public. Oh yeah, but it's one of those things where, like, he's a newer vocalist, and all he really hears is the flaws in the stuff that he does. So,
yeah,
which, like, I know them intimately because I help put a lot of this stuff together before it goes to mixing and mastering and stuff. And I'm just like, I don't even hear them anymore now that they've been mixed and mastered, dude. You need to calm down. Like, there's.
So true. And listening just like the raw, unmixed vocals sound so much different from when, a producer like does his magic on like screen vocals. Like it's such a huge difference from, like the dry screams to, what's the finished product. So I can definitely see
exactly.
if it's like your first time recording an album, can definitely be a little bit.
Not only that, but he's the kind of person that would get finicky over every little like misplaced crackle. Like if it's not a straight, like freaking white noise sound and there's like a crackle in it or something like that, he'd be like, I need to redo that. No, you don't. No, you don't. It sounds human.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. And I think I made this point too in a different video, but like that's kind of the, the curse, the sort of monkey's paw or the gorilla's paw, whatever. Remember that Simpsons episode where like, make a wish, gorilla paw moves face down, and something bad also happens. You can record at home, and it's easy and it's easy, but then
based off of it's based off an old movie from like the like 20s or something like that, isn't it? The monkey paw thing.
Oh, probably, yeah. But like,
it was like a cursed monkey hand or whatever.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I definitely remember that. It's like a black and white film.
yeah, but it's like the monkey's paw, right? You can record everything at home and you can spend as much time as you want at it and make it good, but then it can lead you into the cycle of like endlessly trying to optimize, perfect every single thing. Whereas before, right, if Zach was recording vocals, you're like, okay, you got a day, like here you go, like you gotta go to the studio, get in the booth, you got a day to get it all done, and then
Oh
that was sort
yeah,
of it, right? So
and
yeah, it's yeah.
especially with me, I'm very much the opposite of like I think that the things that like the little mistakes, as long as it doesn't take away from the song or take you out of what you're listening to, or like what makes things beautiful. You know, I love blemishes in my music. So yeah, freaking I feel like Dan kind of balances this out in that regard, where Dan is just like efficiency. He's just like get it done right, let's go. And then
Yeah.
you got me on one end that just wants to make things dirty and ugly, and then freaking Zach on the other side who's like, no, it has to be perfect.
Yeah, you always need some different perspectives, that's for sure. So did
Yeah, we all work really well together.
nice. So did you guys write sort of like all the lyrics too, or was that sort of more Zach's the vocalist, sorry, the vocalist of this band is called Zach. Is that sort of more of his wheelhouse prerogative, or did you guys write
um
the thing and like, here you go, sing this, or
I wrote it because originally this was just a recording project that Dan and I were doing. We hadn't put together a band yet or any of that sort of stuff, and it wasn't. We were kind of planning on putting out a couple of like EPs or something like that as just like a like recording project before we started getting into trying to put together a live band or whatever.
yeah,
Until we hooked up with Bryce and got him involved. And then once he kind of pushed us to really like take things seriously and like really be a band about it, we were like, oh, okay, yeah, we're like the fact that he hooked us up with like Mike Lowe, who's a phenomenal like mix and mastering engineer, and like some real people. We got some real people from the music industry involved. Then we were like, okay, well, this isn't just our like little grassroots bullshit anymore. Like we should probably start taking this seriously and put together an actual band. So,
nice, nice.
so I had already written lyrics prior to us even finding a vocalist. So, and then we went through a couple of local guys who were a little more known in the local scene here, trying to get them in. First of which, I'm not going to name any names, but he just was like, "Oh yeah, no, you'd have to change all these lyrics. Like you can't do that. That's too many syllables." And I was like, "No, you're out. I can do it. I can do it." And I'm not even a vocalist, so.
Get the fuck out.
uh, yeah, I'm like mimicking freaking Nathan Explosion over here, going, "I can do that." Like, come on.
Nathan.
So I literally demoed out vocals on everything except for strangely enough, I forgot to do Plagued by Memories. Just because I did all of them in like one day. Um, and demoed out vocals for him or whatever with my, mediocre screams. Uh, and then we basically use that as a hey, this is possible. Who can we find to do this kind of thing?
Yeah.
And we had talks with a local vocalist, a good buddy of ours, Frank Cogliando from a band called Malefic. I believe I've paid for a play or two of theirs on your channel.
I think so, yeah.
Um,
Rings a bell.
they're like a black and death metal band in the area, and they're good friends. And he ended up being too busy with his other projects and stuff and home life and whatnot. So we were like, okay, we need somebody who's not in like four other bands. So we searched around for a while, and we ended up finding Zach. And this is the first time Zach's ever even been in a metal band.
Oh, really?
He used to be a rapper.
Really?
Yeah, he was a hip hop artist.
Well, fuck,
Which
you could have
actually,
fooled me. Would have never known that.
yeah, right. No, he I apparently had been practicing doing extreme vocals for by himself in his car for like 2 or 3 years before we met him, and he ended up him and Dan ended up getting in contact with each other, and Dan's like, "Oh, let's try this guy out or whatever," and we brought him in, and basically his tryout was we opened up Reaper on one of our songs and said, "Hey, can you record to this?"
No pressure. No
and
pressure.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure that was retrospection, which I mean, I think we probably re-recorded a couple of the parts, but more or less, like some of those takes actually made it onto the album. So
Damn. Yeah, that's impressive. Good for him. Good for Zach.
yeah, we hit it off with him right away. One of his other buddies, who's like he used to make hip hop songs with and stuff, who's like a local hip hop producer and rapper in the area, also is like the guy who does um our websites or our website and our animated music videos.
Oh, Louis Styles or whatever I think his name is.
Yeah, Louis Styles.
Oh, I kitty. I kitty kitty.
This is Walter Corpse Grinder right here. Look at the size.
Walter Corpse Grinder.
Look at the size of his neck.
He's fucking big chungus cat there. He's a
Oh,
big
dude, he's
boy.
huge. My girlfriend holds him, and he takes up her entire torso. It's ridiculous.
Him eating good. Him eating good.
Ah, he's a hardy boy. Yeah, when we first got him, he wouldn't come out of like one of those like little igloo, like soft
Yeah,
igloo
yeah.
enclosure things or whatever. So we had just saw his face and like the tip of his tail, and we're petting him and stuff. And we finally got him home and like poured him out of that thing, and it was like a slinky coming out of there. We were like, "Oh, where does the cat end?"
Long cat.
Sorry, a little sidetracked with the cat.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so I got another question. So on a few of the songs, I think Plagued by Memories and definitely
I love him.
oh my god, Happy Never After Part 2. There sounds to be like keyboards, and they almost sound like kind of like West Coast hip hop kind of inspired keys. It goes you know what I'm talking about? I think where did the
I
inspiration
mean,
to add those, or at least that's what I think of when I hear some of those parts. And I like them. It sounds very unique. I've never really heard keys used that way in
there
like a heavier death metal
there
band. So
is a whole um noise bed of um drones and keys and sampled noises that I'm actually thinking about putting out an instrumental version of the album just so that you can hear those better. Because they get missed a lot, but the whole album has it underneath it, and it gradually gets more and more keys as the album goes on, really.
okay, oh interesting.
Layers and
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, I a lot of that was inspired by Slipknot. I'm a big Slipknot fan, have been since 2000 or so. First time I heard the self-titled album from them, it actually scared the hell out of me because I was into like Corn, and that was the heaviest thing I'd ever heard. And then somebody was like, "Oh, I was in those like those subscriptions that they had in like the late '90s, early 2000s, where they'd send out like if you buy like 5 CDs or whatever, they'd send you an extra one free or whatever."
I think I was a little bit too young for that, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. My mom had one of those subscriptions because that was kind of how we bonded, is we like listening to music. So she would buy like, like Shania Twain and a couple other songs or whatever. And then like things like we got Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory came as one of the free CDs, which like still to this day blows my mind that I got that for free when it came out. And like I didn't even know who they
Sick.
were.
That's a sick release to get. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, we used to my mom had a subscription for those, and I met another kid in my middle school in like eighth grade that also had one of those kind of deals going on, and he traded me the Slipknot CD that came with one of his free CDs for one of the ones that I had that was not metal because he saw me dressed in all black and they used to jokingly call me Vampire Kid and stuff like that. So just because I was into I was into reading like old Anne Rice novels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So um but yeah, so freaking I got that CD, had no idea who they were, didn't know anything about them, never had seen a video or anything like that, and popped it in on my mom's like huge like home entertainment system 5 disc changer thing, and just like probably scared the living hell out of my neighbors too, to be honest. But I listened to the whole album, all the whole self-titled album all the way through, and like even through like them throwing up in the hidden track and all that sort of stuff at the end of it and whatnot, and got to the end of it and was like panic ridden and was just like, what the fuck did I just
Really?
listen to? And then was like immediately like, I have to listen to it again, and probably listen to it like 7 times that night.
Damn. Yeah, probably
So
you and many other kids. Yeah, Julia said we listened to Necrocrisis probably what 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks maybe was it? Yeah.
yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah,
So that's where the inspiration for the keys comes from. Is that where does that album have lots of keys
absolutely.
on it too and stuff? Like honestly, I'm not very familiar with Slipknot. I'll be honest with you. I'm not the
Um,
biggest fan.
well, yeah, like there's songs where like it's not even necessarily keys. I think it's just stuff that they're doing in the samples and the on the DJ
Yeah.
kit or whatever. Where like you'll hear like these high pitched squeals that are like and stuff like that. That's kind of where I was coming at.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, I just, we have those sections where there's like less going on in the guitars in certain parts and stuff. So I was like, oh, it would be kind of cool just to have something punch out right here. And when I started thinking about that, I was like, okay, I got a, cool synthesizer that I can get into. Once again, like something that I, from watching um, freaking Periphery, like making of the album videos or whatever, like they used a mini log in their or monologue or whatever it's called. I got it right over here.
Oh, so you have an actual synth that you plug in. Oh wow. Not just a VST. Damn, let's fucking go.
Oh no. I'm super not good with VSTs. I think I only have like 2 or 3, and the rest of everything I use is like analog or like the
Based. Let's
stock
go.
or stock plugins, like that sort of stuff. Like I really am not like I don't like the idea of like trying to add a bunch of stuff to my computer and then having to figure out how to use it. Like I know how to sit down with a keyboard and play around with knobs until I find something I like. So
Yeah,
very
true.
much more of a tangible, like hands-on kind of guy. It reminds me of when you get a new guitar pedal or something, you're like, oh, what can this do? And you start playing with the knobs and
True. There is something
so.
very. It's different, like the tactile experience of turning a knob versus pretending to turn a knob on a computer. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's definitely something
Well,
different
that
about it for sure.
it's a combination of that and just pure ignorance. Like I have a Kai or however you pronounce it, like VST keyboard that I can plug into my computer, but I never figured out how to get it to run the plugins. So like I was just like, screw this, like $70 thing I got. I'm gonna buy a $500 keyboard, like synthesizer.
Well,
The
as
thing
long
that
yeah, you learn all
I
the notes,
also
and you're good to go.
yeah, and I also kind of worked it in with like the way that I record through my Helix and everything. So like it gives me options when I do that because the Helix is able to run like an affected symbol or a signal, but then if you're recording to your DAW, the channel 7 and 8 from it will run a DI, an automatic DI channel.
Oh, nice.
So we don't have like when we run guitars, we don't have to reamp. We're listening to how it's going to sound when we while we're playing, but then we're also getting a muted DI track underneath it at the same exact time. So
Interesting. I didn't know that about the
I
Helix.
did that.
That's cool.
Yeah, I just did that with the keyboards, and then I'm able to like add extra delay and like wet effects and like extra grit to it, and then I can also just have what the actual synthesizer sounds like underneath that, and then pick between the two of them, like what sounds
I
better.
see. I see.
So I kind of am really into getting like extra work out of my workflow like that, where I'm just like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like maybe I'll, put the grittier side on the left side and the straight synthesizer on the right, or, or pick between the two of them and throw the other one out or whatever.
Interesting, man. I think that's really cool. Yeah, didn't realize it. Just so many things that just kind of get buried in the mix, and you'll probably never hear. But yeah, I think releasing an instrumental album would be really, really
Yeah,
cool. And maybe you can even mix it a little bit differently too, because you don't need to make sonic room for the vocals. You can do a lot of cool
absolutely.
things.
And I also like hiding little fun little Easter eggs in my music too. Like you guys, you've caught some of the stuff in the lyrics that I threw into the lyrics, like with the references to like Resident Evil and Evil Dead and stuff like that. But then I've also got like I think it's in retrospection. There's like a keyboard line that pops in every once in a while that is, I don't think it's in the same key, but it's basically the same melody from the Futurama theme song
Oh, the bells,
of
the
like the little bells or whatever,
dun,
ding
dun.
ding
Yeah.
ding, or whatever. Like I have that, but it's going in like more of like a like creepy alien-y kind of like um what would that be, like a chorusy tremolo noise or whatever. So it's
Okay,
like
interesting. I'm gonna go back and listen and try to hear that.
so like yeah, I do weird shit like that because like the idea with it ramping up and gradually having more and more synthesizer and stuff in it is actually supposed to, like, the whole concept is it's a zombie apocalypse, but it's also happening in someone's nightmares.
Yeah, yeah.
So the gradual increase of synthesizer noises and stuff is actually them getting closer and closer to consciousness.
Interesting metaphor there. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Because our next album is going to be based in a space station,
That was actually gonna
like
be my
very
next question.
much. Yeah, so like
Space Station.
the person waking up basically inside of like a um some kind of a hybrid cross of, it's very inspired between like the movie Passenger and Aliens, and or Alien, and like the Matrix, kind of like the idea of waking up in like a space station or whatever, and no, everybody else is like asleep and you've just been woken up by like an AI program and you're stuck there in space, like separated from the rest of the world, going,
Wasn't
oh
that
crap, now what?
Interstellar?
I've never seen Interstellar, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's the same. Maybe it's the same thing, kind of as Passenger. Then I've never seen that one. So I guess
Probably
yeah,
that sound is,
yeah.
I think Dan's brought that up to me before too. I just never actually checked it out.
I don't. I,
Maybe I'll comb through Interstellar for some samples or something. Who knows?
nice. Yeah. I don't know. I only kind of half watched Interstellar. I was like on a plane. in and out of waking conscience. Anyways, so yeah, I was about to ask. So, Echo Crisis has come out. You do an interview here. I'm not sure what else promo you're doing. What's next for Doomsday Manifesto? So obviously you're talking about the next album. Have you guys found a drummer?
That is actually something I'm really excited to talk about. We are trying out a new drummer tomorrow.
Oh fuck yeah, let's fucking go. Where'd you find him? Or her,
Um,
him,
he
them?
he's a drummer for another. He's got his own solo project kind of thing going on. That a few of us might actually be helping him out with. Kind of just tradesies.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but this drummer and vocalist uh, by the name of Cody Rivers. I hope this. I hope he ends up working out. Otherwise, I'm just counting him out for nothing. But but no, he's got a solo project that he's got together called. I'm pretty sure it's called the Abysmal Noir.
The Abysmal Noir.
Um,
Okay.
it's either Abysmal or Abyssal. I haven't joined the project yet, so I'm still not 100% on that one. But yeah, it's much more like kind of a almost like a atmospheric deathcore slammy kind of thing. But yeah, he apparently just moved a few months ago back to New York from California, and
Nice. Gotta scoop him up before he
us
joins 10 other bands, bro. Like every drummer.
exactly. Well, apparently he was looking for people to join his solo project that he's been working on for like the last 5 years or whatever, and we kind of opened up a trade of like, look, we need a drummer, you need a guitarist, a bassist, and a vocalist. We have those. Like, I
Nice.
could play, I could play your music in my sleep. Let's just do a trade.
Nice. I love that symbiotic relationship. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe Yeah, who knows what stuff you got
Yeah,
going.
and
That's cool.
I've also been kind of looking to get into like a secondary project with just some like dumb guy riffs and stuff. So
All
stuff I
about the
don't have to
caveman riffs,
because
bro. Yeah.
oh, dude, my the music we write is like taxing on my brain. So like just having some like something I can numb out on and just like and just groove out to, it would be phenomenal.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, I think maybe one or two more questions here. If anybody in the chat has any questions for our boy Mongrel, please fire them away. We'll get the boy answer them. But yeah. So yeah, after I already asked you what was your favorite moment of Necrocrisis. Okay, if you could describe Necrocrisis in one sentence, how
Oh,
would you
fuck.
describe it to someone? What you got like one sentence. Or maybe like a mission statement for the album. What's the mission statement for the album?
Okay. Um, it is a blend of extreme subgenres that is meant to be a soundtrack to the apocalypse.
A blend of extreme metal genres that is meant to be soundtrack to the apocalypse. Hey, that kind of sounds right exactly what I heard, bro. Absolutely.
It's the best I can do. um, yeah, there's a couple things that I thought would be fun to share. I finally got the painting of the album art.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I really like the album cover. Come to Brazil. He needs to get a drummer first, man. Uh, yeah, that's a beautiful album art. I
Uh,
love the colors. Yeah, who painted it?
it was painted by a Canadian tattoo artist by the name of Ian Olson.
Nice, nice.
Um, yeah, he did the album art for uh, a band called Miserion. That is the
Oh, is it
like
that country
brainchild
band?
project.
Yeah.
Brainchild project of Claire Lamb or Clane or whatever. I think in the band she goes by Gorgoth.
Corgo.
um,
Claire, yeah.
but Dean Lamb's wife, and I ended up really liking the artwork that they had for their album, and just hit him up, and yeah, he was. I mean, he's pricey, but it's good art, so
It's worth
let's
it.
go.
And hey, and you know what? Now you got a nice painting for your wall too.
Hell yeah! And I always enjoy paying a little extra for artwork as long as it's quality work. So
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. That's funny. Claire Lamb, another Edmontonian. Shout out.
yeah, that's one of the things I thought was funny because yeah, she I believe you might remember this, but I originally had her lined up to edit Happy Never After
Yeah, yeah.
Part One music video before I hit you up to see if you wanted to edit it because she wasn't going to be able to because she was going on tour.
That's right. She actually just
So
came through here not too long ago. I think their band came through here. I don't know.
awesome.
I don't know. It was played at a pub that I just hate going to. Their shows are always like 12, midnight on a Tuesday. The headliners on. I'm like, yeah, fuck that, bro. I gotta wake up early now. Anyways,
I understand. I hate that I understand that, but unfortunately I'm, 37 years old now and I have a similar response these days of just like, "Oh, it's why are you playing on a Wednesday
oh man, so true. Dude,
at like midnight?"
like, why, bro? Why? Like, fuck. Everyone's got shit to do. You got way more people if the headliner goes like 10 latest, like late. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Everybody's gonna fucking
I
go
mean,
there.
I am excited to. Speaking of which, I am excited to go see Entheos, another prog progressive death metal
Yeah,
band or
Entheos. Yeah.
whatever. Right there, they're a big influence on me too. On they're coming to town on a Wednesday, and I specifically I hope my boss doesn't see this, but I specifically took off work to be able to go to that. So I'm taking my
Nice.
kids to that one though. I
Oh,
got
really?
earplugs for him and stuff, and I put a helmet on the little one so that if he gets kicked in the head in the pit, or he's still okay.
Makes sense. Do they like metal?
They do.
Hell yeah.
Uh, they actually they're the ones that got me into deathcore. I had been
Holy.
dabbling a little bit here and there in listening to like Whitechapel and stuff,
Yeah.
and I think it was right around the time Whitechapel's album "The Valley" came out, and I wasn't really listening to it, but it had come out and it was suggested on my Spotify or whatever. So like I was like, this will scare the hell out of the kids so that they'll shut up in the back seat. And I played it in the car to like scare them into being quiet, and it worked. They shut up immediately and like stared at each other for a
Yeah.
couple seconds while Phil Bozeman was screaming his face off. But then like
You're like,
a
oh, hey,
week
this is pretty
later,
good.
yeah, like a week later, my oldest son was like, "Dad," I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Can we listen to that screamy band from the other day?" And I was like, "Sure." Oh,
I love it, man. I love it.
we we ended up listening to the whole album, and then next thing you know, I'm diving into like Lorna Shore and all that sort of stuff too. So,
Hey, that's awesome, man. I love it. It's nice to hear family bonding over metal. I was always like the odd duck in mine. Nobody else liked metal. My dad liked Metallica in the
see,
'90s, but
that's a family tradition of mine. Like my mom was like a Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, Motley Crue. She thought Poison were pussies, so that was kind of funny.
based.
Kind of like sort of thing, and into Metallica and White Zombie and stuff like that in the '90s and late '80s and stuff, and kind of brought me into like that '80s metal. That's how I ended up into a lot of like the '70s hard rock, '80s metal kind of stuff in the first place. Um, Yeah, well, I think I might have mentioned it last time we did one of these, but my stepdad, when I was like 6 years old, just handed me a box of cassettes when he was switching over to CDs,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was all the same stuff my mom used to listen to, like White Snake, and which didn't even know at the time, Steve Vai, like god dang, or yeah, that's White Snake, right? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's slip of the tongue. Yeah, that's Steve I.
yeah.
First
So
seven string metal album too. Funny
yeah,
enough.
like didn't even know that that was happening at the time. Just in retrospect, I was like, oh, I heard that album when I was 6.
I love it, man. I
But
love it.
yeah, I ended up getting into like Shout at the Devil and stuff like that as a 6-year-old, which was kind of funny.
I love it, love bro. Okay, bro. Well, is there anything else you want to say to the people here about your album or anything else coming up? Any more music videos
um,
coming up after this, or is this the last one?
this is the last one for the albums that just came out
Yeah.
yesterday for Insidious. We have put out some sort of video content for every song on the album, every full song on the album that wasn't a um, instrumental track or whatever. So, we have guitar playthrough of recalibration. Retrospection was done as a vocal playthrough. And then we started getting into the lyric videos after that. And then Happy Never After Part 1 and Plagued by Memories have the full like band videos, and
Yeah, 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 yeah,
uh,
yeah.
we got the 2 animated videos as well. So that's, I mean, every actual song off the album has already got some sort of thing for it, which doesn't mean we won't put out some guitar playthroughs for like people to actually, like, if people want to learn the songs more of like a tutorially style, like, here, look at my actual like guitar neck and what I'm playing kind of things. But as far as like more or less promo for everything, we got everything out over the last year. We put out our first video last Halloween, so it's been a whole year of promotion for this album to drop.
Nice. Okay. Okay. So, one more question then. If you were to redo the promotion for this album, would you do anything differently?
Oh yeah. First off, I messed up a bunch of our promotion with Spotify, because when I originally put out the EP, I didn't realize that you had to put out singles before a record if you were putting out your first uh, release on Spotify or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Otherwise, yeah, so like I put out the full EP and then uh, wasn't able to put out the individual singles and stuff because I didn't have access to my Spotify until after that EP dropped. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
ended up just putting stuff
Things
out
are
on
weird.
YouTube. Yeah, we ended up just putting stuff out on YouTube and like Bandcamp and SoundCloud, up until the EP dropped, and then we were able to like unify all of our social media drops all at the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
time after
Okay, I
that.
see. Yeah, yeah.
So a lot of it was just ignorance and organization. I actually have a consulting appointment with somebody for. I'm not going to drop any names right now about it, but with somebody about brand organization and understanding how our band's branding is going
Oh,
forward. So
nice. Yeah, that definitely always helpful, man. That's definitely one of the biggest, most important things for band nowadays is sort of building. Not it's not just
yeah,
the
and I'm
music now, right? It's the people. Well, it's always been the people behind the band and everything like that. But now you kind of have to do it yourself rather than
yeah, and
from a
I'm
music
I'm
magazine
I'm
or
a
whatever.
I'm a blunt object. I'm just a you know I'm just a here it is, check it out kind of guy. So I don't really get into a lot of the like, oh, what's our image like and
Yeah,
our
yeah,
theme of our branding. And so having somebody from an outside perspective who's a professional who can look at that sort of stuff and just be like, oh, this is what you want to do going forward, like, and kind of funnel that stuff into one thing and just kind of give me some pointers would is hopefully going to work out nicely for future promotion and stuff like that.
makes total sense
We're
to me, man. I did the exact same thing, but just kind of for a YouTube channel instead. You know, you need somebody to tell you, like, hey, bro, like, you know, make sure all your shit kind of looks the same. You know what I mean? Yeah, you'll learn lots. That's good. I'm happy to
yeah,
hear
yeah.
it's like that.
She gave me some good feedback and some bad feedback. You know, freaking. Apparently, we're really good at consistently putting things out and uploading things and making sure the like not be vague about our release dates and all that sort of stuff because apparently that's a issue is a lot of people will just be like coming soon and it's like nobody knows when to look for stuff so you're kind of
Yeah,
shooting yourself in the foot.
the local band, big things coming, right?
Yeah, so trying to I've specifically been trying to avoid becoming those memes, you know, so
Yeah, yeah.
uh I put out stuff like, hey, it's coming out this date, check it out, you know, very, like I said, blunt object, very just hammering you with the facts, check it out, this is what it is, here's where you can find it, that sort of thing. So so apparently that's good. I didn't know, so that's good to know. But apparently our aesthetic of doing so is apparently all over the place. So we gotta kind of narrow that down.
Yeah, some sort
So,
of consistency in image and brand. Yeah, it's definitely it's important. It's important, you know. It's
which
definitely
is,
something to
I
look
mean,
into.
it works out nicely too because we got a new bassist. I think since the last time you and I had talked. Her name's Allie, and Allie, she goes by Nexu as her little pirate nickname in the band. And she has been taking over like the TikTok type side of things, where like because the rest of us are a bunch of like late 30s, early 40s, like old white dudes. We don't want to be on TikTok.
Yeah, same here, bro. Yeah.
We have no interest in being in TikTok on TikTok, but she was already on TikTok and doing her own thing with her stuff. So she's just like, hey, I'll make us a TikTok. Just give me or what email to use and all that stuff. And she made a TikTok for us and has been doing a lot of the same kind of stuff I've been doing through Instagram now on TikTok. So
Oh,
her and I work
nice,
together with
nice.
that. Yeah. So we're starting to get it in line to where we can whenever and she make films all of our little promo videos that we've been putting out lately for each song before we put them out, announcements and stuff like that. And
And she was doing some of
she was
the
doing,
film work for or for the most recent video there, Plagued by Memories.
yeah, yeah. I took your advice for what you wanted done with the lighting and made sure that you know the lighting was the way that you described it,
Yeah,
which
it looked good. Looked good.
worked out nicely. And then she took over filming for that. With just mostly some GoPros. So those are
Honestly, it
coming
looked
in
good. It looked good to
clutch.
me. Yeah, it was nice, steady hands. Yeah, while she was moving around, I gotta say, yeah, it looked good.
She's got a gimbal, so like she's putting in work on it. She's got like one of
Oh,
those
that's
like
fucking good, man.
auto
Yeah, yeah.
focusing. That's why I'm sure you noticed, but at some point in time, the tracking on the gimbal would just like take off in a random direction or something like that. But most of it was pretty decent.
Yeah, man. Oh, fuck yeah, bro.
Um,
I love it.
we do have some plans to put out a cover and like just a standalone single that's not so people can have something that's not tied to a big storyline. Not sure when that's going to come out. So sometime in the early to mid next year or whatever. We're kind of taking a little bit of a break to get our sanity back together not a break from making music, but like getting together every other week instead of every week kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Until the end of the year, just to get through the holidays and not, be able to spend some time with our families and,
Of course, it's important.
make
It's important.
make a little extra money here and there and that sort of thing. So
The
it's
everlasting
a
truth.
costly endeavor.
Yeah, is it ever, man? Is it ever? Well, bro.
um,
Yeah,
I
finish
do
up.
have one thing I would like to address,
Sure.
just because in your last interview that you did with me, I had a question from somebody in the chat that had asked me what my favorite uh, death song was, and I was first off very nervous because I'd never done any video interviews before that, so I was shaking like a freaking leaf. And um, I hadn't really ever put any thought into it, so like on the spot, I was just like I didn't know what to say. But in hindsight, like after going and doing much more of a deep dive into their catalog, because been aware of death for since early 2000s, but
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
really got into them after finding out how much they influenced a lot of my influences. So um, realized that I think my favorite albums kind of comes up. I end up somewhere in between internal or individual thought patterns and symbolic.
Nice. Two classics,
But
absolutely.
I think my favorite song from them is Misanthrope.
Miss it up. Oh my god, the chorus is fucking good, man. It's so groovy, man. Insane.
But yeah, I like that like do 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 do
Yeah.
do do like kind of those kind of rhythms. I've even noticed that I've started writing a few of those here and there and stuff like that, and just freaking going back. I'm just like, yeah, yeah, I think that's my favorite. Like, it'll probably be different in 6 months, but whatever.
Nice. Underrated song for sure, Misanthrope, man. Like, insanely good, cool, almost like I almost kind of want to say like almost a little bit almost like a proto kind of almost breakdown kind of. Yeah, like kind of throwing a little bit groove metal in it, definitely. So yeah, I fucking love Misanthrope.
Yeah,
What a great track.
but yeah, I've been going through, and a lot of the bands I listen to kind of casually on Spotify that I've like, no, I'm gonna get more into this band. I've been going through and just buying a bunch of their CDs lately. So I bought like the last four albums from Death and listened to them like all the way through on CD in my car, and just like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I like this, I like this I can take or leave.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, 100% on that. Just I've wanted to that my autism's been driving me nuts about that answer that I gave.
Nice, nice.
So
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on the show. Always appreciate it. And again, everyone in the chat, make sure you go check out Necro Crisis, Doomsday Manifesto. Links is in the description. I just linked the YouTube music one, but go listen to it on whatever Spotify choice. Can you buy it anywhere, like a CDs, Bandcamp, or?
our CDs haven't quite been ordered yet. This is actually something I would like to talk about real quick if we got some time.
Yeah,
But
sure. Go ahead.
um, uh, we will be having some CDs, and eventually we will be having some vinyls. I tried to set all that up along with our digital releases and everything, but I've had a lot of trouble with just the artwork of trying to get things formatted properly for the people that press the records and CDs and stuff. The ones that I used before didn't do the 12-page booklets, which I made a whole 12-page booklet outlay for everything and hand wrote the lyrics to all of our songs in it and everything.
Okay, yeah.
In this like cool setup so that we would have 12-page booklets, and then the company that we previously had our EPs out on CD with didn't do the 12-page booklet jewel cases, so we had to change companies for that. And then
Oh, yeah, I see.
I was trying to get the vinyls pressed, and freaking it turned out that we had too much music for two sides of vinyl.
Oh, so you need like a
So I'm
two vinyl, well, like two
well,
discs, like
I don't
three
want to
sides.
I don't want to do that because it's just under 52 minutes of music, which is supposedly what the limits of vinyl are supposed to be. And I
Mm.
specifically wrote it that way, but it turns out all the actual companies that press vinyl one are doing a max of about 23 to 24 minutes per side.
So yeah, like
Because
48
of
minutes.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna actually have to redo the track listing artwork and everything. Like I still have the artwork, but I have to redo all of that for trade, like putting out what the side A and B will be, and then take and not put any of the instrumental tracks on there, so
Okay, I see.
it won't be the same as the CD. It'll be just the 10 actual songs for the album,
That's a pain in the
because I
ass.
don't want to. I don't. I wrote it to be two halves. Like, here's the story leading up to the Necro Crisis, and here's how everything happens afterwards. So it just would not make sense to try and cut it up into three pieces.
Yeah, I see.
So, yeah, I wanted to get into that. I'm glad I remembered that. Just so if anybody sees this and wants physical copies, they will be coming. I got a little behind on with the artwork formatting on the CDs thing because I had to pay somebody to redo all the way the artwork was formatted for everything, and I will be putting out an announcement whenever we get the CDs. We're just going to do like 100 CD run or whatever, and we'll do like we did with our EP. We'll sign a portion of them all ahead of time, and those will be a limited run of signed CDs for the same price and everything, and then the whatever's left, and then all that. So, but yeah, we'll be doing CDs soon. Those should be out probably, hopefully by the end of November if I get everything ordered on time. And then vinyls will be probably not coming until next year sometime, whenever I can get the song listing and artwork and stuff all
Yeah.
fleshed out, and then fork over the $2,000 it's going to cost to print 100 vinyls. So,
Yep. Always more money. But yeah, bro.
yeah,
Excellent. Thanks for coming
it's
on the show, man. We
it's the
appreciate it.
cost of owning your music.
True. That's true. Yeah, no labels. That's right. Excellent. Okay, guys, make sure you go check out Doomsday Manifesto, Necro Crisis. Again, links in the description, or just Google it. Use your brains. You guys are smart.
Check out
Cliff,
our
man.
website,
Yeah, check out their website.
www.doomsdaymanifesto.com.
Absolutely. Okay, Cliff, my man. Always a pleasure to speak with you, and looking forward to hearing the next music from you guys. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man. And I'll continue to be in your Discord, throwing stuff at you from local New York bands.
Love it. Love it. Okay, boys. Just for
Have a great
everybody
day.
watching.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween too. So everybody who's still here, I'll be back on stream in like an hour or so. I just gotta go change in my costume and go running errands, and then I'll be back normal streaming. So yeah. Okay, man. Cliff, have a great rest of your day, bro. Enjoy the release day. Revel in it, bro. Congratulations again on the releasing the album. It's a ton of work. So fuck yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Good shit.
Absolutely. And thank you for everything, man.
Of course, my man. Of course. Okay, I'll see you guys in a little bit.
I'll be there. Bye.
All right. Okay, stream's over.